Hi everyone, my name is Andrew Underwood and I'm one of the co-founders of Commerce.js. Today I want to talk to you about how to safely decouple your e-commerce stack and go headless with Commerce.js. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Commerce.js and how we approach custom e-commerce development. So Commerce.js is a headless, API-first e-commerce platform, and we help brands and businesses build fully custom, experience-driven e-commerce. Our approach to building high-performance and scalable e-commerce is fundamentally different from how other platforms are doing it today. And let me tell you how. Firstly, Commerce.js is 100% headless. And we've been hearing a lot recently around what headless commerce is, but I think it's important to note that we're both headless on the front end and on the back end, where you can optimize and experiment with what your customers experience, but also you can test how to do upsells or a new fulfillment pipeline on the back end. Secondly, Commerce.js is API first, meaning everything we offer as a platform can be consumed and accessed via an API. So with 100% API coverage, you have complete freedom to customize your e-commerce business as you need it. With Commerce.js, you are in control of your brand and your business operations through our APIs. Thirdly, Commerce.js is low-code. We're making it easier for both developers and non-developers to start and build e-commerce projects. We've got some really great tools that help developers understand e-commerce development and get started quickly. So much so that we've got student developers with no e-commerce experience at all that are building completely custom e-commerce integrations with Commerce.js. And lastly, Commerce.js is open and transparent. Our SDK is open source, we have open sign-up, and every plan has access to platform-wide features. With Commerce.js, we're accelerating the world to customer-centric e-commerce experiences. We're giving a broader spectrum of developers and businesses the tools to tell their brand narrative at every customer touchpoint, something that has traditionally only been available for enterprise businesses and senior engineers. So we're powering businesses to build what they need and engage with customers any way they want. There are lots of ways that you can use Commerce.js and our e-commerce APIs, but I just want to cover two. The first is where businesses and developers use our headless backend and dashboard to build, run, and manage an entire business from day one. And this is great because businesses and developers know what they want to build and then they build it with our headless architecture. The second is where businesses who are closely tied to their monolithic platform, like Shopify or WooCommerce, but they want to experiment with headless. So they use a handful of our APIs to safely test headless e-commerce and solve specific use cases that can't easily be done with their monolithic platform. And this is what I want to talk to you more about today. As business owners and developers ourselves, we know the considerations and risks that come with re-platforming your e-commerce infrastructure. So we built some tools to help businesses test their assumptions around headless and experiment with unique front-end layouts and purchasing flows and checkouts, and do all of this without re-platforming your e-commerce backend. So let's take a little look at this. Here we have a traditional e-commerce business that funnels all of their traffic from all of their channels and campaigns to the same single storefront, and this is pretty typical. It doesn't matter if the traffic is coming in organically, whether it's coming in from an email campaign, an Instagram ad, or a Facebook initiative. Everyone gets the same purchasing experience and the same checkout experience. There's no way for this business to make sales outside of the storefront, no way to differentiate the intent of customers based on the attribution journey of the customer, and there's no way to experiment at the checkout. But what if they could? What if a customer that comes through to this site via an Instagram ad has a unique and refined purchasing experience that is completely different to that of a customer coming in via Google? What if a business could have multiple landing pages with their own carts and checkouts that sell the same products but deliver different A/B testable experiences? Experiences that can be defined by seasonality, geolocation, affiliate, or even an event. And best of all, when these purchases are made through these experiences, orders are then synced back into their existing platform without any disruptions to post-order fulfillment. So now let's look at some live examples of how we're doing this with Commerce.js. So here we have one of our demo stores, and you can find this in our GitHub along with the Vue.js boilerplate for this store if you want to build your own. This store took one of our junior developers just a day and a half to build. So here we have a micro e-commerce site that would be used by a clothing brand for a campaign. And for this campaign, we have an Instagram influencer who's selling a look and its related products on behalf of a brand. It's got a unique product display, a really custom cart and checkout. And so in this example, the influencer is able to sell products via their own storefront on behalf of a brand. They're driving traffic to this site and selling in a way that resonates with their audience. Now let's look at a live implementation of this being used by a real business. Bloom is a direct-to-consumer self-care brand, and they currently run their business on Shopify, but they wanted more control over how they engage with their audience, specifically around how they engage with the audience at the checkout. So using Commerce.js, they created a single-page checkout experience, and this is a product catalog and checkout rolled into one single page. I guess you could call this a funnel-based micro checkout experience, in that it takes Bloom customers from an Instagram ad or an email campaign to this one page to purchase in just a few clicks. Now their checkout is on brand. You've probably never seen anything like this before. It's high converting and it's synced up to their Shopify backend. So when customers make orders here, the orders are then seen in the Shopify dashboard. Now the checkout is using Google Places for autocomplete, Stripe is handling payment, and Commerce.js is taking care of the discounts, the product assets, the product descriptions and prices. And all of this can be updated via our own dashboard if Bloom wants to change this for another campaign or a different set of products. Now the really cool thing with headless, and specifically Commerce.js, is that you could have hundreds of these single-page checkout experiences if you wanted. You could be testing different designs, different product configurations, seeing what converts better over email versus Instagram. Maybe you want to have different purchasing experiences for customers in Brazil, or use language on a checkout that resonates with folks down in Australia and New Zealand. All of this is possible with Commerce.js. The most powerful aspect of all of this is that you don't have any templates to work with. You have 100% control over your brand, your checkout, and the complete e-commerce cycle. Now, we built a great tool to help you sync your Commerce.js orders back into your platform of choice. And in this case, syncing them back into Shopify. We can see here the Shopify dashboard. And this is what really allows you to test and build headless experiences without fully replatforming. You can send all of this data into one place where you typically manage all of your orders. It can also work with Magento or a PIM like a Kino. So we've just shown you one way that you can safely test and decouple your e-commerce stack with Commerce.js. But I think it's really worth pointing out that the benefits of going headless go far beyond page speed optimizations or being able to use a front-end framework of your choice, but that it actually allows you to fully take control and experiment with your entire purchasing funnel, checkout, and business model. You can engineer everything about your e-commerce with Commerce.js. Now, for all the business and service delivery folks out there, you're going to need smarter, more flexible tooling to cater to the new wave of customers that are coming online. The ability to seamlessly experiment with pre-orders and subscriptions and try before you buy is what is going to keep your business relevant and your customers loyal. And for developers, we think Commerce.js is a real weapon and a must-have in your developer toolkit, and that you can engineer your storefront, your cart, your checkout, and any post-purchase requirements needed for your project. Our JavaScript SDK and APIs are super easy to work with, and like I said before, we've got student developers right out of boot camps with no e-commerce experience that are building integrations with us. Our CLI and developer accelerators help you get started quickly. And from a pricing perspective, Commerce.js is really dev-friendly. We've got free plans and platform-wide features, so there's really no reason not to come in and build something awesome. So starting today, you can take the first steps towards going headless. And whether that's building something from scratch or testing an experience alongside your monolithic platform, Commerce.js is your headless, API-first, low-code, and open platform to build your next e-commerce project with. Head over to commerce.js.com for a free sign-up and build something incredible that the world hasn't seen before.